The 1943 Detroit race riot.
In 1943, the heart of Detroit, which had once buzzed with the excitement of booming factories, suddenly came to a standstill. Detroit was not just a city but as a giant industrial machine, pulling in people drawn by the promise of prosperity during wartime. This was the setting for the 1943 Detroit race riot, a dramatic clash of racial tensions in a city on the brink of both greatness and disaster. Detroit was a lively city, its streets filled with the smoke of wartime factories, where the noise of assembly lines was as regular as the city's heartbeat. The war effort had turned Detroit into a vast industrial center, attracting people fleeing from racial prejudice in the South. White Southerners and African Americans, each looking for a fresh start, collided in a heated and hostile environment. Every job opportunity turned into a fight for housing and respect amidst ongoing discrimination. The economic boom and the influx of people created a pressure cooker situation, with racial tensions simmering just below the surface. The Ku Klux Klan, a long-standing symbol of racism, had been a presence in Detroit. Though less active, the Klan's influence still lingered, and discrimination was widespread in housing, jobs, and the police force, overshadowing the city's progress. As more black people moved to Detroit, the housing shortage became a significant issue. The Black Bottom neighborhood, known for its poor conditions, saw an influx of white Southerners bringing their prejudices. The situation was agitated and was just waiting for a spark. World War II, with its urgent need for workers and economic promises, saw many African Americans being hired. But their new jobs did little to ease the growing resentment. Discrimination remained stubborn, and what was meant to be a unifying effort only added to the tension. Then the riot broke out. It started with a clash on Belle Isle, an island that had become a battleground. Rumors, including one about a white mob throwing a black mother and child into the Detroit River, fueled the outrage. White rioters, driven by ignorance and a false sense of superiority, attacked black-owned businesses. In response, black residents fought back fiercely to protect their homes. The riot, a tragic chapter in Detroit's history, lasted for 3 chaotic days until federal troops intervened. The results were devastating. 34 people died, mostly African Americans, hundreds were injured, and property damage amounted to millions. After the riot, blame was quickly assigned. White leaders blamed black youths, while black leaders pointed to the real issues, discrimination in housing, police brutality, and daily injustices that had led to the violence. Later analyses showed that many white rioters were unemployed and from outside the city, while black participants were often established and defending their communities. So, why revisit this dark moment now? Because the lessons from this riot are not just historical facts, they are still relevant today. The chaos that followed highlights the destructive power of racial prejudice and the dangers of ignoring systemic inequalities. It serves as a potent reminder that unchecked racism can lead to violence and urges us to address these issues before they escalate again, engaging us in the ongoing fight for equality and justice. By studying the 1943 Detroit race riot, we confront a past that echoes our current struggles. Understanding this history is crucial in our efforts to address ongoing racial tensions and strive for a future where such violence is only a grim memory. The riot is a stark reminder of the importance of fighting for equality and justice in our society, enlightening us about the consequences of unchecked racism.
So, you've subjected yourself to a portion of the RPTM podcast. We'll pretend that our attempts at humor actually worked and triggered some odd spasms you might call laughter. If, by some inexplicable twist of fate, you found this clip mildly less torturous than anticipated, consider bestowing upon us the sacred thumbs-up gesture. Oh, and there's that ominous subscribe button too, a click that seals your fate, ensuring you'll be relentlessly bombarded with our future endeavors to perplex and bewilder.